Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. Right in my hands is the comic book history of the cocktail. It's illustrated. It's by David Wondrich and illustrated by Dean Kotz. So I was kind of fascinated by this. This is one that I wanted to check out when I saw it was coming out, and it's generally the history of the cocktail. Really, it should be the history of the Western cocktail. It's an interesting graphic novel because of that. It has this introduction. It talks about how, like, cocktails have been part of history for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and kind of going into, like, hey, we're going to do the history of it. But then it starts with the 1600s. It seems to have skipped a couple thousand years leading up to that. So I would say it's really the cocktail history of Western civilization. It seems to ignore pretty much most of the world that is not that. There are some exceptions with that. But beyond that, it's an interesting graphic novel. It's very wordy. It feels very more like, academic text with pictures than it does necessarily like a solid flowing narrative. There's definitely some choices when it comes to like breaks in between chapters, when it kind of goes into like how to make stuff that I wish was done a little bit differently. It does have some recipes in the back. But overall, like, it's educational, it's interesting. If you're one who's really into cocktails, you're really into mixology and want to know about the history, like, it's a perfectly fine way to go learn about it. It's just, to me, like, not super engaging, it's not super exciting, but it is educational, it is packed with a lot of info. But overall, to me, it's just okay. There's a lot of... It feels like there's other ways that this could have been done that would have been more interesting. As I said, like, it opens up in an interesting way. Like, it has this prehistory, but prehistory's history, and then, goes through like, 15th century, and then, like, early 1600s, and then the chapter 1 is starting off with India, England, and around the world from 1600. But really, it's mostly about Europe, and how that kind of drove everything. And it's not that it's not intriguing, it's not that it's not educational, it just feels like it kind of has a focus, let's go with that, that it just kind of ignores some history, which is a little frustrating when it says the comic book history of the cocktail. I kind of want to learn what we know or don't know about, bartenders and Popeye. I think that would be interesting. You can see kind of how the general narrative is. It's very wordy, it's a lot to it. Now, what's interesting is, like, there's this mixology here, and you're taken through how to make, these different drinks. But as you see, like, it's very, like, wordy, as opposed to like maybe a recipe and then show specific things that you might have to do to make the actual drink. There are recipes in the back, so it's interesting if, like, these breaks in between doesn't really... It should be a mix of those two, right? Like, it should have the recipe and then have some pictures about going about how to actually make it. But there's interesting history. Like, it takes us through Prohibition. It takes us through modern times. I mean, literally modern times in the modern, like, internet age of how things are impacted. So it's 2015 to present is this current... is the last kind of chapter. So to me, it's overall, it's a really interesting read. The art, I think, is pretty solid. It's just one of those of, like, it feels very academic, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't, I think, take enough of advantage of the graphic part of a graphic novel. It really just feels more like someone wrote an academic text and then was like, draw things to this. It's not quite that bad, but, like, it's missing something, right? Like, graphic novels are, there's something about them that's a little bit different than a book, and how you have to present things and lay things out, or there's things you can do that aren't present in a book, and I just don't think this takes a lot of advantage. You see that more, I think, in, like, a lot of, like, the graphic medicine releases. They do a lot with as far as the visual part of graphic novels. And I just I think I wished this took advantage and did more of that, as opposed to just, like, here's the history, here's people sitting around, here's things that happen, here's a drink. Like, it doesn't dive in quite like you would hope. So there is a lot of history. It is educational. I just don't think it takes enough advantage of the graphic medium to like really stand out. So this is for, I think, diehards of cocktails. You can go get this, though. It is out in shops. We got a link beneath our video. Put in your zip code to tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage, and by doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. Just watch our video, support us as always, so thank you as well. If you are into comics, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. And, of course, we're on Facebook, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.